excitement. We need to see more from Inconceivable. Like, they dominated Season 2 when it came to the Pro Series, but Season 3, they looked lackluster at best.
Yeah, and that's really the thing. I think Cloud9 as well. Like, Cloud9 people are just like waiting for them to win. You know, they haven't won one. Inconceivable's been winning them, but then they don't show that they're dominant on championship day. So it's like, what is going on? Like, Sentinels just still have it. They're just always going to be the most consistent roster. They have Trippy and So Lethal, but that doesn't matter. Trippy's just as consistent. He can do just as much playmaking. He has an incredible shot. He has the ability to perform and to be that substitute for a player like Lethal. But as far as the rest of the teams in this championship, like, they're not showing that they have that ability to be like taking out a team as strong as Sentinels. So could a team that gains the momentum and just is dominating the day do it? I would like to say yes, because that would be fun as hell, but honestly I don't. I'm never going to put my money against Sentinels. They are the GOATs, man. And I just got to say, like, these matches are the ones that matter the most for me. These are the ones that I'm just looking forward, and I'm like, okay, who's the one that's going to show up today? Who's going to be the one that's going to be able to take this? And we got a big one coming up next that I think definitely could go in the favor of the underdog, being Bababooey.
Yeah, Bababooey's been looking good. They played Sentinels very close last tournament. We saw close games in the previous match today. So, you know, you never know what you could see from Gold Star and the crew. It could make some potential crazy upset. But, I mean, I'm trying to think of what the craziest storyline could be, right? You know, like, how do we really WWE up this thing? And, you know, what if Flyers, you know, they go in, they take Sentinels out, you know, and then make this a pool of death. I don't see that ever happening, but hey, you know, like, Flyers, now your tournament life is on the line, and you have to beat the best of the best to get it because you lost that game. So they need to take out Flyers if they still want to be in this tournament. So that'll be interesting to see. But Cloud9, second place in our last tournament, going up against Bababooey. Last time these two played, it was a 3-0, but very close games. Very close games last time.
Were they? Do we have the stats on that? I would love to read. Yeah, there we go. Let's check that out. We've got Cloud9 seeing their overall stats for the Pro Series, being second place in all of CTF, which I think stands out big time. I mean, yeah, they're when you look at the rosters, they're basically the Splice roster, right? Like, they were the world champions, you know, without minus Shotzi. So you would think, yeah, that they're the second place team, but that kind of surprises me because Inconceivable have been winning so much. KCP have been so dominant, but yet you look at their CTF record, second, 25-8, very effective in that game type, and then very effective in their Slayers. So their game fives, they're able to ice up, and that's awesome to see right there. We have seen some incredible stuff out of Renegade for the past few months. He's been grinding it out and been playing amazing during tournaments. I don't think anybody's truly that practiced right now. I don't think anybody's really just been on the game nonstop like it used to be. I don't think we're quite there yet. But as far as Cloud9 goes, they just have that talent. It's not going to go away. And looking at all of that, that looks great. Obviously, an 8th in Oddball isn't awesome, but I've been hearing a lot of complaints. There's been people that have been saying that Oddball really they don't want to play it.
Well, I mean, if you're Inconceivable, you want to play it because their Oddball record's insane. Yeah, I'm not sure what Cloud9 has their issue on with Oddball, but it definitely hasn't been their favorite. Then you go on the other side of Bababooey. Maybe that's a weakness that they can't exploit. Yeah. Third on the Oddball record, 7-3 in the KD. I mean, just insane on it as well. A little bit weaker in the traditional CTF and Strongholds, though.
Yeah, well, looking at the KD, it's not the slaying part that is the problem. It's the situational awareness. It's being able to outplay these top teams, being able to be smarter in the moment. Like, where do I need to give up a stronghold? Where do I need to triple hop a stronghold? Where do I need to set up and play sneaky? You know, I think stronghold is, it takes the most teamwork. I think CTF is just very straightforward. Obviously, Slayer is, it's dumbed down video gaming. But Stronghold, there's a next level to that. It's very much board game-esque. You got to keep an overall view of the map at all times. Like, you can't lose it for a second. You got to know exactly what your next play is, when you need to die. I think a lot of the times in Slayer, you generally are like, well, I need to always live. And, that's okay. But in Stronghold, no, you don't always need to live because you'll be very ineffective across the map for a long period of time and not be able to help your team with any of the objective play, and you won't be relevant. So you've got to constantly be moving, and with all of the extra advanced movement in Halo 5, Stronghold is tough. And Bababooey, they're that team coming into this top 8, and they're definitely like the low man on the totem pole. So that's going to be a very tough game type for them to win on. But like you said, hopefully they can take advantage in the oddball. Hopefully they can make something happen in the CTF. But there you go. We're showing that we have the lobby up. We have the teams ready to rock and roll. They're good to go. And we are going to start this one as soon as possible. Looking at these game types, though, looks like they've got a good draw. They've got Oddball Eden, which is a very straightforward map. I think that's probably one of the best maps to play Oddball on, in my opinion. But I don't like the Slayers. I think those Slayers very, very much are on the favor of Cloud9. I don't think Bababooey can win on those two. I don't think they can win a Coliseum or Truth. I could see him winning on maybe a Regret and Plaza. But Coliseum is just like, you can get just, I don't know, like Cloud9 is so darn good on that map. Like Renegade is a Renegade. He is the best on Coliseum. I can't see them winning that one, and that's tough, too, because that's the one you expect to win, is that game number 2 for Bababooey if they want to get anything started, because they can easily start this series off with a 2-0 deficit, win the game 3, and then it all comes down to that game 4, and then they actually have to win that game 5 and ice up over Cloud9. Man, it's tough. This is going to be crazy.
I think, honestly, we're going to keep on the theme of bold predictions, right? I think we go to a game 5. Like, I think we go to game 5. I really do like the Bababooey roster. And when you're saying you don't like Slayer Coliseum, I see a clear path to victory for them on Coliseum Slayer. It's all about just keeping the sniper away from Renegade. And when we see Renegade not have the sniper rifle, when we see them not have control of the power weapons, that's when we see a weakened Cloud9, when they don't really handle Coliseum Slayer as well. If they don't get things to go their way, I could see that being exploited from players like EXO and Gold Star BR. The biggest problem that they have is there's just not that one player that you're the power weapon specialist, you get it in your hands, you take over. But while all this is happening, our Force versus Inconceivable game is going on right now. And we see game 1 pretty clearly going in favor of Inconceivable. So maybe they're picking up a little bit of their gaffes since they've been playing a bit better this tournament.
Yeah, Inconceivable. I think it's just all about the Sentinels matchup, really. Like, they just haven't been able to, on Championship Day, be able to best them. I think there was one championship they didn't even play them, which was surprising because they're like the, we've got the big 4 right now, and we've got the best teams, like the best 3 basically, that have just been doing amazing. KCP getting their first win, getting grand finals last championship. But Inconceivable is that team that like clearly has the ability to beat Sentinels on a good day. Like, they can absolutely just shut down Sentinels. So if they're not able to get to them, that's a big problem. So I'm looking forward to seeing how Inconceivable can do and get their day started. I want to see them have a good championship. They just haven't had a good championship yet. Hopefully this will be the one for them.
Opportunities, right? And it's just about coming out strong, playing your style of Halo from the start, right? And that's the problem that like KCP has said they've had, where they come out in pool play and they're not really playing their most serious Halo, and that they're trying to fix that up. I mean, honestly, it's the same problem with a lot of these top teams. It just doesn't feel as if they're playing their full Halo at the start. But EXO gonna find the gonna find the kill on Penguin, who got the camouflage overshield, just got in the hands of Eco, so he's gonna be able to use that, potentially stopping this pit. But it looks like he's gonna slow play stuck right away. And a great job from Bababooey to come out the gate strong. They don't get either overshield or camouflage, but they burn it right away and play the numbers game, getting an early pit, which is so hard to grab versus teams like Cloud9.
Good trades there from JK. One of the biggest things that always sticks out to me is how aggressive these players are on Bababooey. They were known as No Ice, but they've acquired the Ice, so they had to change their name. I'm pretty sure that you were their coach or their analyst at some point. Like, weren't you?
I've done a little bit of film work with them. These guys, like, with some of these guys on the roster, usually, so back when it was the No Ice roster, it was Bards and Vetra that were there, and I did a bit more with them than I did with the other ones. But I mean, honestly, EXO has been a great addition to the team. And honestly, JK, that season 1, he had a great tournament. He played out of his mind. If he can do that here, we can see some exciting upsets. Gold Star BR, 1, has one of the better names in the game. 2, he has one of the better shots in the game. It's just about him heating up and then getting the 5 shots across the map. And then Jared, I mean, he is your X factor. He has the ability to take over games. He's absolutely nasty with it. You'll see him doing some of the crazy individual plays. If he can keep that on deck, then, you know, that's where Bababooey has a chance.
Exodia. I don't know much about this player. What can you tell me about him? And also, what is that name? Is that from an anime?
Well, he used to be called Exodus, SFST, and he changed it to Exodua. I don't know. He says it's like French mix of Exodia, whatever. But yeah, probably, you know, throwback to the Yu-Gi-Oh days. You know, you guys growing up on Saturday morning cartoons. He was obviously there doing that, but JK loses that fight for the Overshield, unfortunately. But I mean, he came up largely in the grassroots scene, right? Got his name out by doing some draft league tournaments, by just getting in those 8s lobbies and just being absolutely nasty and individually talented, and made some relationships with these guys. And you know, when they needed someone, he gets picked up and they start playing well. That's all it really takes, right? Make those connections. Get your chance to play in a tournament and then play well, and that's exactly what he did, and that's why he's sitting here today. But JK loses a big fight to give up the trip cap to Cloud9.
Yeah, this trip cap, if it's not stopped, I mean, this game is going to be over so fast. They got to get some good slays in here. Dragon getting that pick on the Stellar is going to be massive. Eco matches it back, though, so that's going to be the trade. And we need some more trades coming in. We need some more slays. That's not going to happen, though. Bababooey. God, this is not a good start to this one. They really needed to make their mark and put Cloud9 on their heels immediately if they wanted a chance in this one. But like I said, Stronghold is just so darn hard to beat the best at, and Cloud9 are some of the best.
Yeah, and Empire Strongholds is really where you just see like team talent and individual talent mixed to make it so hard for teams to make upsets on. Like, if there's a Strongholds where you're like, okay, I have the best chance, Empire's just not the one, because you're talking about 4 players who have been just seasoned veterans who have been playing for so long and that just know how to shoot their pistol right, that will win those PIVs, that can win those up-close fights, and then on top of that, just have so much experience with each other. It's such a hard map to break out of. As we see a scoreline of 75-3, break on out, but Pit potentially going in favor of Bababooey. They're able to get it, but the reslays are coming through. Renegade and Penguin with some beautiful nades. JK eventually finds the trade on Penguin, but that's not going to be enough as Stellar eventually caps off the fight versus Gold Star BR. Camouflage coming up soon. JK trying his best to get that player off of it. He's able to get the kill, but as all that was happening, Pit going in the favor of actually they got the stop, so great job, but they're still not scoring. Overshield in the favor of EXO.
Exodia with an OS is going to be nice. They could maybe get something started here and create a heck of a comeback, but yeah, I wouldn't put my money on it. Right now, I'm going to just use this time. We're going to get a little update here about Inconceivable versus Force. They won 100-21 on Empire Stronghold, so Inconceivable dominating and looking good. Very unfortunate for Force, though. Force is getting a tough run here in the beginning of the day. And yeah, my prediction will stand. The top 4 teams are going to go through, and they're going to play no matter what, I feel like, especially after seeing this game 1 with Bababooey. Bababooey are just getting slayed out, getting killed, and Cloud9 not looking amazing, but, you know, they're getting it done, right? Like, that's kind of the story about Cloud9. But also, I'd like to give a shout-out to the LVT Productions team. Louis V. Titan, the director and owner, he has been putting on a heck of a show and has been doing an amazing job with these watch party coverages. Like, he's been doing these constantly. So make sure you check out all of that action that we've had over the past few months on YouTube. We've been putting them up on there. We're editing them. And we've got a nice little archive over there that you guys can check out and subscribe to. We're going to be putting on a ton more on there as well. And then also make sure you give a nice follow to the channel, because today we're doing the Bravo stream for HCS, but usually we cover the entire tournament on HCS weekends.
This tournament basically, I mean, this first game basically done at that point. The trip cap, too much to come back from. But yeah, that is fairly easy for Cloud9. They had a couple missteps in the beginning of the game, but they stabilize early on. They get their control, and that's what the difference is that they just have this ease of finding the trip cap that we saw Bababooey struggle with. They could get the 2, but they couldn't reslay and get into that trip cap and get the dominating pressure, where that really wasn't an issue whatsoever for Cloud9. As we see Eco and Penguin both top fragging for their teams at 16 kills. Eco 16 and 9 though. Great stat line from him. As yeah, that was really just a pretty dominating game from Cloud9.
Yeah, it's what I said, right? Like Cloud9 just being one of the top 4, and a stronghold being so hard to win. I didn't expect it. So I'm really hoping that what you said for this game number 2 on Coliseum is exactly what happens. I hope they have a game plan, right? Because the power weapons are so crucial on here. If the snipe goes in the hands of any of the players on Cloud9, then the game is going to be over. They just know how to take over the map with that weapon, because that's what it allows you to do. It's not just the fact that it gets you kills. It's the fact that it takes over the map. The control is so much easier. It's like having a queen on the chessboard, right? It's like having that queen that can do it all, and the other player doesn't have a queen. You right. Have that ability that you can just shut down everybody, and with a guy like Renegade or a guy like Stellar, a guy like Penguin, Eco, they can do it all. They'll take over, and oh my god, as soon as I'm saying that, that's what's happening.
Yeah, look at that 4 immediately go down. Sniper rifle in the hands of Renegade. Penguin with the boom booms. And look at that. Renegade knows exactly where the spawns are, but he's getting hit out from the bottom base. Can he live? Live he does for now. Player still challenging him out, not quite able to hit the snipe shots, but he just knows when to get away from the challenge and to reposition. He does that, right? The biggest thing is just don't get the sniper rifle away, keep it in your hands, and wait for the picks. But as I say that, Exodus finds his way through the back pocket, gets the back smack, and eventually does fall. But so far, I mean, things firmly in the favor of Cloud9. Bababooey find a couple kills to get it a bit closer, but power control still in the favor of Cloud9 as Penguin finds himself the sniper rifle.
Penguin can do some massive things with it. I remember one of his tweets he put out back when Halo 5 was at the top and we were rocking and rolling. He was unstoppable with this thing, putting some of the craziest shows on in matchmaking. Like, he'll just run in, be solo queuing, and just land headshot after headshot after headshot, just flying around with the no-scopes, landing every single one of them, and doing some of the most brilliant montage clips I've ever seen. He's put himself in a very bad position, though, with the snipe. As soon as he shot that shot with that sniper, it was over for him. That team collapsed on him, which they needed to do. So perfect execution out of Bababooey, making sure to grab that thing. That is one of those audio cues, right? Like, audio cues are so important in competitive gaming. You've got to always be on top of the ball, whether we're talking about League of Legends and the abilities, talking about Overwatch with the ults. In Halo, it's the power weapons. It's if you hear a sniper, that's your immediate cue to know what to do. Like, oh, I just heard that sniper across the map. He set up a lane in the flag. I know not to peek there because I'm going to get my head taken off.
Look at that. As we're talking about the power weapon control, Penguin uses the last bit as a sniper rifle, but Stellar gets the rockets, and he's going to find probably one more to go with him as he finds Jacosi to fall. Penguin still, man, he's been alive for what it feels like 3 minutes now, ever since he picked up that last sniper rifle. And he's just been alive for an extended period of time and just laying down damage. And honestly, that's all you can be for Cloud9 now, is just don't give up pre-deaths, make sure everything's straight out. You have a big enough lead that that is a recipe for success. As Renegade finds the one-on-one fight at Gold Star BR and just wins it easily. He hit the 8 shot and didn't even get his shields broken off.
Yeah, I know. He was just like, forget about getting my shields back. I'm just going to get this quick 5. And, you know, he didn't get the perfy, but he definitely just took over that man's confidence. Because, you know, it's like you get flown at by a no-shields guy, and that no-shield guy just dominates you. You feel pretty bad about yourself.
Well, these are some big kills going in favor of Bababooey and could start to change the momentum. Sniper rifle's down in grass somewhere. Bababooey can find it and maintain this control. It could be devastating, but big fights are being won on the opposite side. Oh my god, Ego Chow from Stellar on the Gold Star BR. And that's going to be the end of that conversation, as they're going to be able to find all the kills. But Sniper Rifle still hasn't been found. I still think it's down over there in the grass. Probably going to despawn relatively soon.
Yeah, that's not important. Cloud9 are just, they're basically washing over them like a tidal wave. At this point, they're just running at them. Great shots across the map, though, from Gold Star. Being able to take Penguin down before he reached his teammate. His teammate needed help, and Gold Star laid down the shot, so that's good to see. Stellar with the DMR, though. One of the best shots in the game.
Bait the hell out of him. Did you just see what he did there, 90?
He used his sound of his thrust.
No, he looked down, right? He's like, I know there's a player under me, so he dropped onto the ledge, sprinted, and then immediately turned around to show up on radar. So that player would be like, oh, there's a guy sprinting away. I can just jump up and kill him. He used the sprint to make him pop up on radar to turn around and just use the DMR to two-shot him. That's absolutely just beautiful, crazy. Yeah. Oh my god.
I did I was doing clipping for a big Warzone event, and there's this player that beat down the wall. Aiden beat down the wall a few times, and it made a few players come out, and he killed the entire team. So baiting people out like that with the radar or baiting them out with sound, that's just one of my favorite, like, little tiny meta tactics in first-person shooters. It's not something that you saw all the time back in the day in Halo, like Halo 2, Halo 3. It's really hard to hear those types of things, but with the radar being enabled, obviously you won't have a tough time. But 50 to 30, this is this is bad.
Right, so now we're moving on to the oddball, I believe, right? So unless if it's a flag first, I think we have oddball first. And if it is oddball, right, that's your biggest opportunity to finally find some momentum, because that is Cloud9's weakness. They're not a great oddball team. Where on the other side, Bababooey considerably strong. Oddball, considering the competition they played, they lost 150 to 149 based off one misplay. And you know, Sentinels, they'll punish you every single time if you misplay. But they needed 1 second, so they all just soared out at once to go try to pick up the ball to get the final second. Obviously, Sentinels were ready for that. They took them all out and found those kills to eventually make the comeback happen. I believe they're like 120 something, and they came back from that 149 to 120. But that just shows you, Bababooey, man, they are strong at oddball. We're going to be going to Eden, which, in my opinion, is the least consistent oddball map. So that could be, you know, in the potential of for Cloud9. Also, you know, Cloud9 much more familiar with Eden, the map itself, since it's been in rotation since the start of the game, unlike Echelon and Fissure. But opportunity for Bababooey, and the only opportunity, right? If they lose this game, the tournament's basically over.
Yep, backed up against a wall. This is their time to shine, see if they can make something happen, make the reversal. An absolute miracle needs to be had after seeing Stellar's performance. I think Stellar is kind of the guy that I've been waiting to see wake up. He's like, I would say like a Boo Boo Doo Boo. Like when Boo Boo Doo Boo's going off, like you cannot stop him. And Stellar's in the same category. Like when he's playing great Halo and he is on, you cannot stop him. He is going to dominate the other team. And I think a lot of players on Sentinels have said it. Like, Stellar is one of the hardest players to beat in a 1v1. Oh, my God!
Oh, Jacosi. There's a Jacosi. That's a beautiful play by him, right? Because he gets the sniper rifle, and he's like, I don't need to actually stay outside and try to slay with it. I recognize that I can pick up the ball and bring it back. And eventually hand it off. Hand it off he does, and that's going to get his team initial time. And Overshield's still in the favor of EXO, trying to shoot through the stairs. It's so hard, right? Because you have like only like a half centimeter that you can really shoot through, and that's honestly, I think that wasted time is going to cost them ball time and position. I think he should have just flown out with that Overshield, take the 1v2 with the players that were weak. He opts not to, though, and that's just going to give time for Stellar and Renegade to do their thing. But a great start from Bababooey. Question is can they keep the momentum up?
Renegade going to fly out, try to help his teammate to stay alive right there. That was not really too much of a risky play. He only had one bullet in that sniper. It does get put to use, but it doesn't really get capitalized on. Exodia trying to do the best he can. Alone over here. He's got 2 players. Make that 3 that take him out. All 4 are going to collapse from Cloud9 onto Blue, and that's exactly where they want to set up. Now, Renegade's just going to be patrolling around here. He does get the noob combo off, which is great. Playing smart, he takes that fight. Renegade wins those.
Yeah, you know, being in that 1v2 and just expecting that player to challenge, I mean, that's just repetitions, right? Just knowing, being in that spot, that player gets a little too confident being in the 1v2, and it costs them that life. And that's the difference between these pro players. They know when they can take advantages of habits, and they do just that. Penguin trying to stay alive over at this blue bend with the LR, the power weapon, but the collapse comes in, and honestly, with Overshield coming up soon and all of Bababooey trying to get in there and get him off the Overshield, are they able to be successful with it? Eco gets it on the body, but I'm still giving the edge. I mean, we've seen great stuff from Cloud9, but it's very reactionary. It's very based off what Bababooey have done. Bababooey been controlling the pace of the game for the most part as Eco goes down, traded out by a single player, and ball time still in the favor of Cloud9, but I'm liking this Bababooey we're seeing in our 3rd game.
Yeah, and obviously the stats are the perfect evidence as to why Cloud9 are very, very weak, and meanwhile we have a very strong oddball team in Bababooey. Bababooey obviously are on top of the power-ups, but they're not grabbing them so much as they are able to just take Cloud9 out and not let them use them. We saw that their JK was able to get 2 or 3 beatdowns on and get the trade with Eco, so that was a really heads-up play out of him. Good individual work. JK has the time to get the sniper, but he decided not to. You want to take out Renegade inside blue first. He was hearing that call out. I like that play. It didn't work out for him. He didn't win the fight, but ultimately, if that player had some shots, if he had 1 or 2 shots in him, he could have easily won that and then grabbed the sniper. But now Renegade is going to be set up in blue. He's going to get that. Oh my! You cannot hang in a fight with Renegade for too long, but because he lands those. He lands those shots all day long. Renegade making it so hard for Bababooey to get anything started in blue. He was just baiting out the ball. He was like, I don't need to pick that thing up. I've got sniper. I'm just going to just block every single person from touching it.
And there we go. Penguin finds the flank on EXO. And this should be a considerable amount of time for this Cloud9 roster as they have the ball all the way tucked away at blue catwalk with the opposite team spawning at red bend. They've given up this they've given up the overshield though, right? So Stellar hits a shot across the map with a sniper rifle. Overshield, clearly Bababooey is better set up for it at the moment, but as I say that, they somehow back him down, and Renegade's gonna be able to grab that overshield. I don't know, Bababooey decided to go opt to play out for the ball instead, and Overshield going in the hands of Renegade, and he's going to fly forward.
Yeah, I don't like that prioritization at all, and I've been saying it, that they have been doing a good job at shutting down the power-up usage, but they have not been doing a good job at baiting it or grabbing it or setting up for it, and that pretty much is Halo in a nutshell. You've got to be able to make sure that you make those necessary plays on the power-ups when they come up.
Yeah,
oh
Renegade.
My God, Renegade just got melted.
I don't know what info he has, man. That was interesting. Oh, man. It was like, I think he was trying to bait players into him by, like, saying, like, hey, I'm rotating with the ball. You know, I'm just a defenseless player with ball, when he in reality had overshield. But all 3 players are like, hey, you're not getting away with that. They come forward and just absolutely shred it. And this is the thing about Cloud9, right? They're winning fights. They're getting kills. They're controlling the map. And yet, they're winning by 1 second. And this is the thing about Cloud9. They overslay to the extreme. They are so inefficient with their oddball games, and honestly, it could come to bite them as once again they go 2 down. This is going to be, and then when you see Bababooey get the ball, they don't prioritize getting to that ball carrier and killing them as fast as possible. They're prioritizing winning their individual fights, and that's how they allow teams to get just huge chunks of time and to make games way more competitive than they probably ought to be with the slaying ability that this Cloud9 roster has.
Penguin doing a good job staying alive, not going to let these players melt him. They are going to him. He makes that happen, so he basically is delaying the inevitable, right? And that's what Halo's all about. You want to make sure you're distracting, you're delaying. And Penguin does a good job at that, making a hard decision for Bababooey to flush him out in blue. And that's pretty much what Cloud9 have been doing.
Renegade.
Yeah, Renegade. He's just like, dude, come on. You got to be better than that, Gold Star.
Oh, I thought he was going to hit another shot as well. But, you know, as all that was happening in the turbine, you got Exo just holding the ball all the way here at tower. And, you know, the overshield once again goes in Penguin's hands. But if they don't use the overshield to find kills again, I mean, what's the point? Because you're just going to give them more ball time. So that overshield player going to be important. And Penguin basically out of an overshield already, as he's going to be the player that pushes towards ball. He's made one shot. Did he do enough, though? That ball about to reset. It looks like they're going to be able to pick it up in time, and they're taking the fight straight to Bababooey. A high-risk, high-reward play, and it looks like it's going to be rewarding them this time around.
Penguin playing that one smart, waiting it out, letting those players come to him while he backs his teammate up, gets a very good angle there, and just holds it. Really liking his decision-making. Dragon almost winning that fight. He's going to back down, wait for his teammate. Teammate gets the cleanup. Now they can make their push onto blue. Cloud9 holding down blue like a fortress. Stellar not going to miss a beat. He hits all of his shots, being accurate today.
Look at Jacosi, man. Jacosi's sensitivity, always being at 10, throws me off. I'm surprised he's able to hit the shots that he does, because he plays at such a high sense. And it gives me whiplash when I watch it. But there we go. Exo finds another kill. And once again, a huge control, right? We saw a sniper rifle in the hands of Penguin, overshield in the hands of Penguin, and they get a 10-second lead because of it. You know, it's like you expect more from this Cloud9 roster when it comes to this oddball play. And once again, it's just Bababooey just keeping the ball basically out of the hands of Cloud9 so that they have ample opportunities to find their individual slays. Thus far, though, they just haven't been able to execute. But they've been applying great pressure.
Yeah, they're hanging in there. They really are. And I don't want to say, you know, it's like this is Cloud9's weakest game type, and you're still losing. And it's your strongest game type, and you're still losing. You know, I don't want to rub it in, but I mean, this is the time to step up. Like, you are new competitors, yes, but at the same time, you're in this top 8. You got to make something happen here. You got to grab these power-ups. You've got to get these overshields more often. So this is a good start. We're seeing it happen. 3 dead for Cloud9 back-to-back. We just saw 6 kills in a row. They've got ball control. This is what I wanted to see out of Bababooey. Take this game and show the world what you can do.
Yeah, no, I wasn't going to say anything while you're talking, but I was watching. I was like, I think Bababooey are about to start their comeback, because they got 4 down right when overshield was coming up. And now they were able to get the overshield. But as all that was happening, huge kills happen in the base for Eco. He stays alive and is able to find 2, and that's going to keep that ball up. But once again, you know, that's a solid 10, 15 seconds of time that they could have grabbed and had ball time. But instead, they're like, okay, we have to make sure we kill everyone. We have to make sure we have full control. And they eventually do find those kills. But against better teams, against teams that are more punishing than a roster like Bababooey, Bababooey still has a lot of experience needed to punish plays like this.
Yeah.
But Cloud9 versus Sentinels, they get punished 100% of the time for the plays that they've made this game. They're going to get away with this game 3 this time around versus Bababooey. But they need to figure it out. The oddball, clearly their weakest game type.
Yeah, that's true. And as far as Bababooey is concerned, they've got to be better at controlling the power-ups and the power weapons. They just don't do enough with them. And obviously Cloud9 know exactly what to do with them. Renegade just going on a tear. You saw there at the end of the game, he was able to land 1 body shot on 1 player we saw across the map. He landed 2 headshots in the kill feed. Renegade just silencing the other team and saying, no, that's not going to happen. You guys did go on a nice little run there at the end, but I'm going to end this game with style, and he shut them down. But look at that. The slays are just so heavy in their favor. It's not, you know, it's not like it's a situation where they overslayed. They definitely were able to just dominate in the way they needed to. I think it might be their positioning. They're always so comfortable at going into blue for whatever reason. That's like their default take. It's like, no, we're not going to rotate that much. We're just going, and like when we saw with Renegade, he took the ball into 3 players. He didn't rotate it when he could have easily done that and added another 30 seconds possibly if his team was able to catch up and help him out. But instead he throws it at the other team, and it's like those kinds of plays right there. The objective inefficiency was glaringly obvious. I really don't think it's a problem of overslaying. It's just their rotations and the slow-mo. Got the montage by Louis V. Titan right now. Loving every second of this. Don't challenge me, son. Killing spree out of Renegade. And this is one of my favorites. Oh, perfect. God, that was nice. Loved every second of that. But like I said, just moving the ball better. Bababooey did a great job at their ball movement. That's why that game was so close for so long. Was just making sure that they knew exactly where to go, their communication with it. Who knows? I don't know why Cloud9 doesn't do all that. They're some of the smartest and best players in the world. They should be all over it. But it seems like they just default to security and blue, and they say, well, this is where we should be able to get all of our time.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. Cloud9 needs to make some differences in their game. I'll say this, though, man. Eden Oddball, worst Oddball map. Just in my opinion. Like, I honestly, if we can't get good enough Oddball maps to have more competitive games, like Echelon, in my opinion, is the only Oddball map that's, like, really good and, like, plays Oddball well. Eden, I just feel as if you get the slayouts, you get to your position, and the other team just spawns so close every single time that they have pretty immediate pressure just about every time. And there's a lot of flanking routes, and it creates really odd games of Oddball, which not a huge fan of. You know, that's my harsh criticism of Eden Oddball. Not my favorite map. But I mean, we saw some updates across the bracket, and you know, we're seeing some of these games finish up. And I believe Sentinels and Flyers are in their third game right now, and it's going down to the wire, 123 to 113. That clock going to be playing an impact, though. The Flyers need to win this game because they're going to be out of the tournament if they